Hi, welcome. My name is Ingrid. I am so happy that you are here. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps me so much. And then you can also get more of my content. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the follow button, like this video, share it with a friend. I don't know. All right, so now let's get into it. Why are you here? Because you want to know, how the heck am I supposed to read Throne of Glass? Now, one thing that puts a lot of people off about this series is how long it is, number one. Number two, how the heck do I read it? Like a tandem read, Assassin's Blade, where does it go? I will answer all of your questions there. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the Assassin's Blade. What the heck is the Assassin's Blade, first of all? The Assassin's Blade is the prequel novella, which happens before all the books in the Throne of Glass series. Now, this basically follows our main character, Selena, who you should know from Throne of Glass. What's that? And basically it's like her backstory, what she went through to get to where she is in Throne of Glass. Now, this book is kind of 4 mini novellas, or is it 4? I think it's 4 mini novellas broken into like a book. So basically these 4 novellas were published originally before Throne of Glass was officially published. But then this book, The Assassin's Blade, which has all of them together, was published after Crown of Midnight, which is the second book, which follows Throne of Glass. So there are many different places you can read this book. You can read it first, second, third, or fourth. You just have to read it before Queen of Shadows, which is when all the characters in this book come back into this book and in fact come back into Queen of Shadows, and you'll know like when they come, who are they, you'll know like about them, you're like, oh, I remember them, yeah. So basically, without further ado, let's get into it. So reading the Assassin's Blade third, which means reading it before Throne of Glass. Now, a lot of people choose to do it this way just because it gives you an introduction to the world and it kind of introduces the characters and it avoids spoilers, okay? If you want to do like, if you hate spoilers, like absolutely hate them, like despise them, do not read this first. Okay, now, I personally tried reading this first and I could not get into it. It was kind of boring at the start because me personally, I had to know about the characters and like who they kind of were before reading this. Now, I read it third. We'll get into that later. So if you want to read it first, you want to avoid spoilers, read this book first. It gives you a backstory into the characters. It's a great option for first time, second time, whatever. But yeah. Now, you can read it second, which I do not recommend at all, because Throne of Glass, so you were reading it in between Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, right? So these 2 books fit hand in hand. They're kind of like 2 best friends, they're really close-knit to each other. Like the story continues really seamlessly into here. So I do not think you would want to have a break in between these 2 books. It's not the best. I don't think I've actually met anybody who's read it second just because of how annoying it can be. Because once you finish Throne of Glass, you're definitely going to want to finish Crown of Midnight. All right, so reading it third, which is what I personally did, is because Crown of Midnight, it kind of comes to like a nice little clean break, I guess, in the story. So, because like there's like a big revelation that happens at the end of this book. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. But this book kind of dives all the way back, and you're like, oh, that's who she is. I know now. And it's like a really nice like order chronologically. It has the emotional impact you're looking for. Not as much as reading it fourth, but that's okay. All right, then reading it fourth. Now, this is something I did not do because Heir of Fire is like really when the story starts to pick up a lot of speed, and you're gonna want to go straight to Queen of Shadows after you finish Heir of Fire. And reading the Assassin's Blade before Heir of Fire would kind of disrupt that story. If you're okay with that, this is going to give you the most emotional impact reading it fourth, because you'll know like her entire backstory kind of, but this is going to give it a much bigger dive deep into the story with reading it fourth. Now, just remember, for the Assassin's Blade, first, second, third, or fourth. I read it third, personally. It's my opinion, how I did it, but there are many other ways. Put them up here. See? Woo! Yes. And then Queen of Shadows. Read it before Queen of Shadows. I have seen one person read it last, but I would not recommend that personally because you're not going to get the full, like, emotional depth and, like, character info as you are reading it either first, second, third, or fourth. So, yep. All right, and there is one more reading order you can do. Is that it? That is it. Oh, okay. Please stand by. All right, so Assassin's Blade, or you can split up all these nice, handy little, dandy little novellas in this book and then read them separately, kind of. So you're going to start with The Assassin and the Underworld. Then you're going to read The Assassin, the Empire. Then you're going to do Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and then The Assassin in the Desert, then Queen of Shadows. then the Assassin and the Pirate King, then the Assassin and the Healer, then Empire Storms, Tower of Dawn, Kingdom of Ash. Now, I did not do this because I didn't actually even know about this until like 10 minutes ago. But this could also be a great way to read it because like splitting it up, if you don't want to like read them all together, if you feel like it's could be too long for you, I don't know, but that's also another great way to do it. Yeah. All right, now that you finished Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Queen of Shadows, Heir of Fire, the Assassin's Blade, you're gonna get to these two lovelies, Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. Now, what is very commonly known by many people in the community is that these books take place at the exact same time. Weird, right? This one follows one cast of characters, and this one follows another cast of characters, having it at the same time. Now, this book was published first. This book was published second. This book is much more action-heavy. It's a little bit heavier on the romance, I would say. It's really, like, crazy, suspenseful. This book is much more mellow. Some people actually skip this book, which I don't understand why, because it is really important to the story, and it is an amazing book. Do not skip this, please. Now, one thing you can do to keep... Oh, and this book also ends on the biggest cliffhanger, I think, known to mankind. So having to sit through this, again, does not seem like very much fun. Now, one thing you can do, it's called the tandem read. Woo! So there are many guides online. I'll put a link in the description for one of them. I'll also leave it right here. Woo! And basically what happens is it breaks up into nice little chapters, little reading guide. They have bookmark printables, whatever. So you can start with Assassin's Blade, Fire Storms, Tower of Dawn, flip off between the chapters, fun. This like gives it a more seamless event to the story. Now, one of the cons of the tandem read though is that there are a lot of characters to keep track of, and you can sometimes get lost a couple times. So I recommend tabbing the book and then keeping some notes somewhere of like big like important characters and stuff. That's what I did, and that helped me a lot. Yeah, and then but if you want to read it Empire Storms and then Tower of Dawn, that's fine too. Some people read Tower of Dawn first and then Empire Storms to avoid the giant cliffhanger at the end of Empire Storms, which is fine too. So basically, I recommend doing the tandem read. That I think honestly is the best way. You could or you could read Empire Storms, humongous cliffhanger by the way, and then Tower of Dawn, and then final book Kingdom of Ash. Or you could do Tower of Dawn first and then Empire Storms. So yeah, pretty much anyway, but I would recommend doing the tandem read. Okay, so in summary, we have the Assassin's Blade, which you can be read first, second, third, fourth, and then Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn, which I recommend tandem reading. 100% please tandem read. I'll put links or everything in the description, all reading orders and stuff. I'll do the one that I chose to follow. And then I will make another video on reading the entire Sarah J. Maas universe, like all together, because some of those books like interconnect and stuff. Yeah, this series will make you cry. This book made me cry this is the last book made me cry for maybe a solid, 30 minutes after finishing it. This series has my heart. I love it so much. Please read it, and please do not let the super complex, crazy, tandem reading Assassin's Blade thing disturb you from reading the series, because honestly, there's no real way for you to mess up how to read this series. This is just my opinions, my recommendations. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah. And don't forget to subscribe.